It is time for SuperCoach 2024 to kick off. Although it is December, I'm getting very excited for SuperCoach 2024, and I believe it should open in about a week, if not 2 weeks. I'm only guessing, but based on previous years, so that is exciting. And yeah, can't wait to play with the picker, so that'll be fun. And yeah, today we're doing the Adelaide Crows preview. We'll go through all the teams a few before Christmas and hopefully get all through them maybe by January, but we'll see, or end of January. But yeah, some of these players, or these are the ones that I think are relevant, and some are stretches. For example, like a Ben Keys is not going to get CBA rotations, but if some of these players, go up the pecking order because of injuries, they could be relevant. So I've thrown them on there. But there's a few mid premiums we could look at, a few rookies as well that we can consider. So we'll discuss all them. And yeah, don't mind the Word document. Pretty lazy way to present this, but it's pretty clear and pretty time efficient, or very time efficient. And the editing software is kaput at the moment, so very limited. But regardless, we're here to talk about the Adelaide Crows. So how do I think they'll go this year, or 2024? I think they can make top 6. I hope so. Definitely have the players there now, and bit more progression. Another preseason of Dawson that's actually in the midfield this time, so that'll be exciting. And yeah, we saw Matt Crouch come into the side late, played really well, so I'll discuss that too. So I'm actually excited for that pick. But yeah, looking at the defenders, I've done the best 22 here, so quick suss of that. But you got Hinge, Smith, and Miller. But I thought I'd note that I wouldn't be picking Mitch Hinge, but he did 98 post buy, sharing with Miller and Brodie Smith, which is quite good. But is it sustainable? I'm not sure. But and could he be pushed onto a wing? As if you look at the best 22 here, Jones is injured at the moment, and we don't really have settled wings at the Crows. So I thought I'd just mention Hinge might be a sneaky one for draft, but yeah, should be slightly underpriced in Classic, but probably not enough to pick him. But if he's done 98 post buy, why can't he do it again? But it might be his ceiling given the point sharing down back. And Dan Curtin, a defender mid, about 170, 180k. Can't remember the exact price, but he's injured right now. He's in the rehab group, but he did average 100 or so points in I think it was Colts League. But yeah, he can intercept, and I was listening to a interview with him on radio. He wants to start his career down back, I think, but he's happy to play anywhere. But I think sort of said defense would be where he'd want to settle. So yeah, it'll be hard because there's a lot of defenders here. You got 6 defenders here who I think will play, and then you got Miller plus Curtin, so that's 8 defenders. So maybe someone has to go onto the wing for a bit. So I think they'll try and fit him into the team because been really impressive when he has trained, but he's on limited training. So yeah, I don't think I think I'll start Curtin if he's named round 1 and all fully fit, and that'll be it for the Crows. So monitor his preseason. And looking at the midfield, so you got Laird, Dawson at the pretty expensive prices here, 645, 640k roughly. Laird's about 30 now, so I wouldn't be starting a 30-year-old for 650k. And with Crouch might affect him. It's pretty low sample size, but regardless, I wouldn't be starting Laird. Potentially an upgrade target if he doesn't regress a lot. But always a regression risk picking the older players, so I'll be steering clear of Laird as a starting pick. But could well be in our sides at some point. And then Jordan Dawson, I've actually slotted him into my starting team at the moment. It's pretty hard to not own him and support the Crows, so hopefully the upside is with another preseason. And if he might have to play a little bit of wing here and there if they're playing Crouch in the midfield more, but he still did like 110 on there, and they at Sydney when he was there. And the Crows do feed for the ball. He calls for the ball. The Crows do feed in the ball. So very important ball user for us. And I think especially in the middle patch of the season, his disposal was quite off, and he had poor DT to SC ratios, which was unusual for someone who's regarded as a great kick. So if he can clean that up a bit like Petrarca, he can be maybe a bit of upside there. So expensive, not one you have to pick, but one that I like for that price. good age bracket as well. I think he's 26 or 27. Now, Matt Crouch, so he played the last 7 games. One was a sub game, but if you take that sub game out, he averaged 108. So if he can do 105 plus for 480k and he has the last buy, I would take that in a heartbeat. So I've got him as my M5 or M6, I can't remember, something like that. And this is one I don't think the Discord wants to tail me on this pick, which I'm completely fine with. So I'm more than happy to have this pick to myself because I think it's actually going to go quite well. Could have egg in my face if some of the younger guys like a Berry or Dowling has a really big preseason, but Schoenberg has done his Achilles, I think. There's a bit of mid-time open there. One thing the Crows could look at, do they throw Rochelle and Saligo, especially, and even Rankin as well, do they throw these guys more in the midfield at the expense of Crouch, Dawson or Laird? I'm not quite sure how that will work. But the way Crouch played at the end of the year, I find it very difficult to believe or how they can take him out based on how he played. He's 29, but so a little bit older, but I think he'll be refreshed. Did miss a fair bit of footy, so I'm a fan of the pick. 480k, he's in my team. Maybe a buy flip, but in juniors, I think he averaged 37 touches a game, so we know he's one of the best accumulators in the game. So he's getting centre bounces. I think he should get 65, 70 plus, really. Can't really play elsewhere. And the TOG might hold him back, usually mid to high 70s with the time on ground, but I think he'll be run a PB like most Crows players. But yeah, under Darren Burgess, I've got full faith in Crouch, one of the hardest workers at the club. He'll be right. So yeah, I'm not, although it might sound like I've tried to sell the pick to you, but make up your own mind. I don't know if they want to drop him or whatever like they did last year, but I just think that the way he played, he should have been in much earlier into the side. So that's enough on Crouch. He's in my team. Feel free to tell me, but you're just a warning. I genuinely get Crows players wrong somehow, but whatever. Matt Crouch is in my team. Berry's 220k. We know he can do 90 plus with CBAs. It's a bit congested at the moment, so he'll need to fight his way back in, recapture some of that form from a year and a half ago, because I don't know where it went, but it completely disappeared last year or in 2023 and had a really disappointing year, regressed in his 3rd year, so wasn't expecting that, but he can get back to his best and maybe there's a spot for him, but not sure. It'll be pretty hard with Laird, Dawson, Crouch, but Rochelle, Rankin and whatnot. So I want to monitor for his price, but yeah, I don't think he'll be best 22, but yeah, monitor regardless. Dowling and Taylor are 2 rookies that had decent junior numbers, especially Dowling. I believe Zach Taylor is injured at the moment, but he had a really good end to 2022 and just been injured heaps since, but one we might get down the road or down into the season, so or later down the track rather. So one to monitor, and also Dowling. Again, he's a sort of an inside mid. I don't know if he can play elsewhere or not. He's probably behind Berry at this stage in the 2, so it will be hard for him to get a game, but he can score if he does play. And first year, second year, some players can make a really big jump with that first full preseason because they might not be doing every session in the first year. And then the forwards, you got Ben Keys clearly behind the pecking order now, and I think they've figured out how to use him as that hard running half forward. It can be a tough matchup for some lockdown defenders because Keys is very high time on ground and can run the defenders into the ground. Like we've seen the matchup, he takes Sard and gets away from Sard pretty easily. So he has his flaws, like his kicking can pretty poor at times. But yeah, not a relevant pick unless Crows get like 2 injuries in the midfield and something happens. And then Rochelle, 405k, so did his best work in the first half of the year, slowed down, I think injured as well, dropped. I haven't heard much on his preseason, but hopefully he's one that can get a bit of mid-time because he looked really good in there, bit of pace, was exiting out of the front half of the stoppage a lot, really damaging, but is he ready to do that for a very long time or, with high CBAs, high game time? There's no evidence of it yet. We've seen players like Petrarca and even Dangerfield take quite a few years to even get to the point to play full-time mid and then turn into superstar. But Rochelle might be, not saying he's as talented as those guys, but he might be one where he needs a bit of time to develop his tank, really. So I want to monitor, and I think they'll use him through CBAs, just not massively, because he's a good forward too. So basically, at the moment, in my team, Dawson, Crouch, and Curtin. So should be good. And yeah, that's the best 22 if you're interested in looking at that. And rookies, we got Murphy and Sloan. I'd rather them out the best 22, to be honest, but best 23 and play some kids here, but not too sure what the Crows want to do, but that's just how I think the Crows will go. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the Brisbane video.